Houston, the moon base.
Yo.
Houston, the moon base. Do we have landing? What's up, man? Nigel, what's going on?
What up, man?
And you're in Cali?
No, I'm in Seattle right now.
Oh, more up north. Great. K-Rino, this is Hollow the Don. This is Nigel. This is K-Rino.
Respect, my brother. How you feeling, family?
Salute, chillin', man.
All good.
First things off, man, I want to set the stage. And I was just watching an interview you did with Flip, and a lot of people don't know your roots here in Houston. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. What was going on at King's Market? We were doing the trading fair too, right? You was coming down with the Channel View boys. That's what I called y'all. Can you talk about how did you stumble upon that?
That was like 2000. Just a blessing to really be out there in that time, because I feel like, that time was huge. That's when, Swisher House and Screw was super, super big. And my brother from Yellowstone, my brother-in-law, he's from Yellowstone, right over there, not too far. So, it was just normal. He from South Park, I'm from the East Side. I always seen that spot over there, so we rented it out and, made the magic happen, man. So, shout out Channel View, though. East Side, you heard?
Right. It's worth noting because you were actually recording, which you're really not known for. You were battle rapping at the same time?
Back then, that was like right before I started. I started battle rapping when I moved back to New York, like after high school. I went back to New York because I actually got in a little trouble out there. So that's when I started battling. So at that time, it was just, freestyles at high school, on the tables, they get going, you just get the rocking, back then it was just all freestyles, and I had verses I wrote, but I was just mainly freestyle.
Hey, this is K-Rino's forte. Go ahead, man. K, this is your turn now. This right your alley.
No, first of all, man, I just commend you, bro, because what y'all do in that battle rap arena is so incredible, and how y'all have carved a lane that wasn't in existence. Y'all took it from the streets, y'all took it to that next level, and now have turned it into basically a brand, into an industry.
For sure.
So
thank you, man.
I'm just happy to even sit down and have a conversation with you, bro, because I'm one of the old school battle rappers from just on the street corners and in the school hallways and all that. And we never saw it getting to how y'all got it. Y'all incredible, bro. Straight up. I just got to give props.
I appreciate it. I know your pen is crazy. I definitely know how you get busy. So I know you listen to the craft a little different than the average listener. You know what I mean? So it's definitely much appreciated, man. And Houston really had a big influence on me freestyling, because in New York, even when I listened to the mixtapes, they were spitting all written verses on the freestyles. I came out to Houston about 99, and, I'm hearing boys like Mario, PJ, and Swisher House, and I'm hearing Big Pokey, Lil Kiki on Screw, and they coming off the top, like, for real. And I'm like, oh, that's what I love to do. So, that was so influential in me now, where I hop on the stage, I do with them boys. They don't want to freestyle. They'll spit their straight written rounds, and I go up there and respond to something they just said on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And that was big back in the day, so I aim to keep that alive. Well,
I think that's one of the elements that separate a lot of the great battle rappers, because me like my off the dome game is minimal.
Yeah.
Like you say, I'm a penman, but I like you said, when you mentioned Kiki and Pokey, I throw Flip and ESG in that same mix as well, because that's a special skill to just be able to do that, especially in the face of an opponent.
For sure.
Crowd around y'all like that, it's like, dude, he just said something about this, and I'm immediately replying back on that topic. That's a special skill, bro. Straight up.
And I want to jump in here because I want to add on to that, right? And we talk about this in interviews where battle rap and sometimes can create bridges, right? Look at the bridge it built between Gangsta Nip and K-Rino, right? Your adversaries, but then there's this trust, this bond forms. I'm sure that's happened in your walk of life, Hollow. You've had enemies, but now they're your greatest friends. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, like me and Loaded Lux just did a 2-on-2 last year, and it's like one of the biggest 2-on-2s because we went back and forth. We was like for a few years going at it and had one of the greatest battles, and now we got one of the greatest 2-on-2s, they say, in battle rap. We had teamed up. It was like some Optimus Prime level.
Double dipping, huh?
They never seen it, but we actually, what inspired that is we did a movie that Eminem produced and Joseph Kahn directed, and we played a character in that movie like we was friends, and that was the first time, we actually kicked it, and, it ended up happening in real life.
Right. Kay, also, this man is an avid basketball fan, right, Nigel? He used to have it all in his lyrics, man. That's another commonality we all have is our in-depth. So
basically, what you're saying is, you making him Mr. Knicks right now. You a Knicks fan?
First and foremost, I'm a big L fan. I'm from New York and never was a fan of the Knicks. I'm a fan, and I'm a Rockets fan. Like when the dynasty was over, I'm rocking with Hakeem, Otis Thorpe, Vernon Maxwell. Like I'm going back to those, like the '90s Rockets.
That's my dude, man. That's what's up, man. Yeah, no question.
When Coutinho and Francis came through, it's crazy. So I was really with him. So
no doubt, man. Love that, man. Let me ask you a question, man. I know I'm co-interviewing right now, man, but I just wanted to holler at you, brother. So as far as the whole battle rap industry goes, is this set up for you guys to be included in the financial part of it, other than just saying, I'm about this guy, they're going to pay me this amount? I mean, getting in on that ownership aspect, or if not, do y'all have like something set up to where you might want to create your own thing so we can have that ownership?
Yo, that's an amazing question, and I love you asked that because I recently last year did a blog and kind of had a riff with one of the leagues about having that in contracts of getting residuals or getting more say so on when a battle come out, so you could promote your brand properly and stuff like that. So that's one thing that I do is outside of it, I have my brand LOM Clothing, stuff that I move and other stuff I do, because there's not no ownership in battle rap right now where you could say I own half of that content or I get 25%, but people aren't really having an issue because, some people are getting from anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 for one battle. So it's like some dudes is just like, all right, I'm just getting this money. I mean, that's always the ideology at the beginning. Right. So I feel like, eventually people is smartening up, especially with me dropping it out there publicly, because I always had this riff for years, like, we should get publishing, like we could copyright our lyrics and stuff like that. But it's still definitely something that's going to come back up because I already planted that seed.
Let me tag in here. Hold on. Do you think NFTs will play a role in this eventually? I know this is a new technology, but has it been whispered?
Yeah, no. Shout out dopebymeme.com. My NFT was up May 7th. I had dropped it.
Wow.
Did real well. I appreciate everybody that supported. Yeah, so I already had my NFT Loopy, baby. Yeah, they really show support. So I think that's like a new space where in another year you probably be able to answer if NFTs could play a big part, because I didn't even do nothing battle related. I did like I talked about cryptocurrency and the certain coins I like and certain people in the world, that have influence, and made metaphors and a freestyle out of it. So that's what I did for my NFT, but definitely think about incorporating some battle rap also.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, because I look at the whole battle rap arena, I equate it to like boxing and UFC. And the way you guys come in and do y'all thing, and I know the same as whereas in boxing and UFC, they got promoters and people who come in and they usually make all of the bread, while fighters, in this case, the artists, they get a little something, but they don't really get the financial compensation that they should get. So I really look forward to seeing y'all put your weight down and make that happen, bro.
No, I'm definitely one of the advocates for that. And like I said, I appreciate you asking that, because that's definitely the truth. Even when I worked on television shows, I've did several where it's like, damn, this is $1 million set and y'all only willing to give up a few bands. Like I'm the talent, you know what I mean? So it's definitely always going to get pushed.
No doubt.
Right, man. Another thing both of y'all could chime in on is how, and I think y'all talked about this a little bit in the Flip. What's up, Flip? We're shouting out Flip because you was in that with Hardy.
Freestyle King. I can't forget Flip.
About, it was towards the end of the interview, about how physical things can be or maybe get sometimes. As I imagine Kay has experience with this. You're insulting people, right? Can y'all both talk about that?
Yeah. When you battling, man, it's adrenaline, you know, and it's stakes on the line. Reputation is on the line. You got people around you that's laughing and going off when somebody say a bar. So it's like that's on the line. And the person that loses, hey man, that's dejection. It's like fighting. So when you start to get the best of somebody at times, if that person realizes that is swaying in the other direction, they might let their emotions get the best of them, and it can get physical. I've seen it get physical before, you know, because it's like basketball. You know, you got somebody talking trash, you getting somebody here and you killing this dude, it leads to getting physical. If they're not able to beat you with the skill set, then they take it to another level. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. 100%. Just like OG said, like they get, and they now with how we do it on URL, when they get their feelings, obviously you getting paid. So most people aim to keep so they do tactics like talk over your round, or you know what I'm saying, to try to distract you. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But like he said, back in the gap in his day, and you know, I battled back in the day, early 2000s, late 90s, where you know people try to start a fight because they betting money or they don't want to give up the money. You know what I mean? Right. So it definitely get there.
So to another question addressed to both of you, how do you get your vocab up, right? What kind of reading material, what kind of books, what news sources? Like, I mean, you got to pack the artillery, both of y'all. Imagine, I mean, K doesn't necessarily rap out anymore, but he still writes records.
Yeah, I want to hear from bro.
Prolific range, right?
Well, I mean, with me going all the way back, you know, I started writing in '83, so you know, I'm listening to guys coming up like Tila Rock. I'm listening to guys like LL and Kumo D and all of these guys, KRS-One, they used the use of vocabulary, Rakim, and they put words together. So it's like, man, it's like, I want to rap like that. I want to be able to not just use big words, but to also have it to make sense. You don't just throw a bunch of words in there and it's just there. So, I mean, connecting words is a challenge. It's a skill. So that's what got me into it. And there are people out there who really, really want to hear the intellectual side of lyricism. So they get something out of it. So when I'm getting mine off, I'm thinking about people who enjoy this style and what they're going to get off it once I send it out to them.
So I can ask, did any, like, back in, like I say, the 80s, did anybody like try to clown you for becoming more intellectual, saying maybe dropping some jewels here or there?
Yeah, all the way up into the 90s and into the 2000s, because when you dropping records, the objective obviously is to sell as many records as you can. So if you're putting out stuff that's either highly technically lyrical or something that's conscious, then traditionally, that doesn't sell as much as the so-called nonsense or whatever, you know. So people look at you, man, you ain't gonna make no money doing that. Why you talking about why you ain't gonna make no money doing that? But if it's in your heart, if you true to that style, if you true to that way, then you're not really tripping on that because you know that there are people out there who get down with how you coming. So you just ignore that. But I get backlash to this day. To this day, I'm 50 years old. They still telling me what I need to do to get a record deal. I ain't thinking about no record deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
And that's and I think that's a path that both of you share, right? You know, you stayed away from, you know, the whole machine, right? The recording industry machine, right? And said, I'm gonna pave my own pathway. You know what I'm saying? And that's why essentially I had to get y'all both in a group conversation. Y'all share a lot of commonality.
No, for sure. You definitely got to stand on something. Or you just fall for anything, and you chasing the bag. That's what I preach out here. Is like people are chasing the bag, and that ideology is so like a one-way street to nowhere. Like you gonna start planning on starting your own brand, or you know, investing in something, or you know, doing something with some equity, because you know you get to a point like you're just chasing the bag, and then you ain't hot no more. That bag ain't coming.
Right.
You know,
and being willing to do anything to get that bag. See, and that's where the problem comes in. It's like, okay, we all want the bag, but it's like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to compromise and give of yourself to these bloodsuckers to get that bag? And there's certain things, if I'm sitting down talking to you, it's like, I'm gonna listen to what you gotta say, but I gotta cut you off when you try to pull me into something that's against who I am and what I do. So it's like, nah, okay, I'm making the terms of what I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do, not you. And when they dangle that little bread in front of a lot of people that never had it, you know, because we all come up out the hood, so it's like, man, they can dangle 80,000 in front of somebody and they gonna jump right on it. But like you said earlier, when you was talking about the amounts they give you for the battle rap, in the beginning, you like, yeah, that's good. Let me get this 5, let me get this 10. But as you get more immersed into it, you realize they're giving me crumbs. So I'm gonna stand on my principles first and foremost, because that's all I'm gonna have at the end of the day anyway. And you know, just put it in the hands of the creator that if I put my work in, the money gonna come.
No, for sure. And that's why I've been out the game. Like took a break for the last few years. I did a 2-on-2 last year, which really don't count as a solo battle, but you know, I ain't battled on URL going on 3 years, just overtaking the stands and feeling like, you know, I got to fall back because, you know, I really represent like trying to get more, and I'm one of the pillars of this right now. So I'm just pushing that envelope, and it's still hard because you working with like you don't have people champion this on, because more people is like keeping the peace, or you know, it's kind of controversial. So you know, you feel by yourself sometimes, but that's like what the warriors got to go through. If you stand on something, you got to be able to accept that feeling of maybe feeling alone or feeling like, damn, nobody rocking with me. But you know, for the long run, you standing on something. So for the long run, you gonna win. So, you know, that's why I always fuck with a Nip, say it's a marathon, man. That's really a mindset. You got to really have a marathon mentality and look at the long run, the mailbox money, you know?
You were battle rapping in school, Hollow?
In high school?
Yes.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
And you went to high school in Channelview?
Yeah, I went to Channelview and North Shore.
Oh, you're a Mustang. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new, bro.
Yeah.
Right, man. K, you got any other, or Hollow, do you have some questions for K? I know you do, man.
Yeah, I definitely do. And I feel like, I don't know, I really want to pick his brain about back in the day. I don't know how people feel like, you mentioned like the Kumo D thing. That's something I'm big on, is like, what was his top 3 or top 5 back when it was like late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, man. You know, that's a question I get asked a lot, and I always get stuck after 4. Because KRS, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Killer Rock, those 4 are gonna pop right in my head instantly, but that 5th one always jam me up. And we talk about like just the lyricists, you know. So I mean,
but was it some underground cats maybe that we don't know now or never heard of? That?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you 2 of them right in Houston.
Okay.
One is named Theology, and another one named is Snap. And they come from back in the days, and I come from. But you talk about just
where they from?
They from Southwest Side. Well, Snap from Third Ward. If I'm mistaken, I think Theology might be from the South Side too. But man, you talk about futuristic lyricism on a level, man, in the late 80s, early 90s, that some of the stuff they were saying then is like, man, this dude went to the future, snatched some lyrics, came back to the present. There's no way he writing that in 1991. There's no way. But they didn't really push trying to put records out. They put a few out, but they was more into just like you, just on the scene, like getting down, battling, ciphering, and all that, man. But they are two of the most underrated. Another guy named Taboo, just straight out of Houston, man. So those would be guys that I would like the world to really just know about, man.
That's crazy. I remember one time I was at Acres home and was at a gas station, and my partner met somebody, and he was like, "This one of the coldest freestylers." And he was an OG, so I probably was like 25. He probably was like 35, 40-ish at the time. And when I tell you, he telling me like he didn't inspire 50-50 Twin, all these niggas. So, bro, when this nigga got to going, I'm really like, yo, I never heard him or seen him again. Just this one time at a share, like on Antoine somewhere at Acres home.
You remember his name?
He blew my. I would have to ask my homie. I forgot his name. He really blew my mind. Like I'm like, yeah, like with that style, like kind of like 50-50 and Chameleon and rap back in the day.
I want to jump in. I have to ask this since you brought this up. Meeting people on the street. Please talk about, especially my kids are going to love this. How did the Adult Swim bit come about? And how much was cut out? I mean, was that everything? Everybody you were approaching? Was that you were on the boardwalk out there in Cali? Where was that?
Yeah, I was in Venice. That came about because the president, shout out Walter, the president of Adult Swim was a huge fan. And then a mutual friend happened to work at Adult Swim also, so I guess they got to talking about battle rap and mentioned me. And he was like, "Oh, he knows my boy Dirt Nasty." So, I got the call and I agreed to go out to LA. And I had the time of my life, bro. I wrote like 4 or 5 skits and we shot like 2 or 3 of them, and that one came out. You know what I mean? But that was like, I had one at a sandwich store where I was freestyling the order.
What? They cut a lot out.
Give me a drink. No, I need a pizza. At least another pepperoni, homie. You didn't I was just freestyling like it was a Subway sandwich or something. Yeah. But we did a bunch of shit. But that's the one we released though.
Wow, man, that is really cool.
Phenomenal, man. Man, look, bro. I salute you, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of y'all who get down, because I'm just somebody who's big on seeing us make a way out of no way, and rap on a whole did that for all of us, because there's many rappers that have been successful in whatever way, whether they went through the record labels, whether they did it underground, whether they did through the battle arenas. A lot of us don't know what we would be doing if it wasn't for this. So we find a way to make a way out of no way, Bust. So keep doing what you're doing. Anything you need from me, us, let me know, bro. I don't care if it's just, hey, man, I need to holler at you. What would you do if I hit your big brother up? It's all love.
I need y'all to pull up to the next battle. I'm pulling them out there probably September, man. I'm going to pull them out there. We're going to do an event out there.
I'm there.
Wow.
Excuse me. So yeah.
So before we go, man, I would love to give the fans what they came to see, right? And obviously, I'm not going to pit y'all against each other, but I came up with
I ain't playing with nothing.
But I thought more of a creative way, right? That is all of our adversary, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Hollow, if I step across a boundary, but we all hate the Utah Jazz, right? And they've had a phenomenal season, right? So what if both of y'all were battling the Utah Jazz? Could you give me a hot 4?
the Jazz now?
Yeah, hot 8 something, man. What do y'all think? I got a better idea.
I thought I could do the jazz back in the day more than now.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Hornacek, Mark Eaton. I mean, go off. You know what I'm saying?
I go with you. See, I'm Jeff. You hit my horn, a set going for 3. I pass it like John Stockton. No way you can stop him every time he go quiver. Call Malone. Arm behind your head when I deliver. Too many bars for niggas. I'm on a live now. Catch it, post it like Oyster Tag when he drive now. That's another block. Get him another shot. Hit the Southwest. I come through SWATs. Back to the East Side where my brother got. LOM, you already know.
Hey man, look. I ain't trying to brag. I ain't trying to brag. My beat slapped like Shaq did Oyster Tag. I'm sitting here with no microphone, but guess what? I never liked Stockton or Karl Malone. But I had to give them props because they was a Utah Jazz, but I got to give my boys the Rockets props because in 94 and 95, we kicked that ass. That's
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
That's it, man. Well, this is one epic meeting, man. Another roundtable discussion. Hopefully some more in the future. Hollow, man, hook up with us, man, when you come into town.
Yeah, I'll be there next month.
Man, that'd be great, man. Any parting words, any parting shots out the parking lot? Now is the time.
Appreciate
y'all having me, man. Loyalty over money. You know we represent.
Without a doubt, man. Salute to you. Salute to you, my brother DJ Rick. Appreciate the love, man.
Yes, sir. Making it happen. Making the magic happen. All righty, man. We out.